Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
I'm me. I'm Rob. Way more alive tonight.
Makes one of us. We're a few minutes late here getting started because I literally fell asleep on the couch and didn't set an alarm.
That was supposed to be me last night.
Oh my gosh. That's what happens sometimes. Days off, you just fall asleep on the couch watching Aquaman. It happens, okay? Had this magical dream where I was in the ocean and Amber Heard shit in my bed.
Now, the question is, no spoiler. Well, spoilers for Aquaman 1. They go into the middle of a desert. Was it the poop covered in the sand? Or was it a wet poop?
It was like a litter box.
I was just saying, there's two different types of poop there. Was it a wet one or a sandy one? Because
I didn't look. All right. So today, guys, we're going to be going over the matchup here between the Giants and the Commanders. It's nice to be talking about a team that the Giants actually have a chance of beating for once. That's nice. It's been a while.
We almost beat the Bills last week, but we should have not.
We did, but we didn't go into it going, we have a chance in this game.
Yeah,
We're going into it. You and I both had already picked the episode we did yesterday for the Giants to win this game. I mean, that's very rare for us to have any optimism going into a game. So,
even if we were going to poop the bed, just like we did this year, we went into this year going,
who would have thought we're 5 minutes into the show? This is a second poop the bed reference here.
If you're going to Amber Heard the bed, you're going to go, DJ likes to win against the Commanders.
If he's in.
But that's the question.
That is the question. Yes. Who is? Yes. So, before we get into that topic here, the injury report here for the game, we do need to discuss the fact that we did have somebody get put onto the IR today. Shocker. Shane Lemieux didn't make the season. I can't believe it. I'm just absolutely amazed.
Flabbergasted.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought that Shane Lemieux could not make the whole season healthy? It's just amazing, absolutely amazing. So yeah, he's put on the IR. The Giants signed to their active roster Sean Harlow off the Cowboys practice squad. You probably remember the name if you've been watching the show because we had him during the offseason for a little while there. So plays guard, plays center. Obviously, we already signed a few tackles this week to the active roster, so made sense to go get another interior guy there. So, and a guy who knows the offense already should fit right in at that point. So, plus, might give us a little dirt on the Cowboys in a couple weeks when we play them again. Ooh. So, I'm just saying.
More poop. Another poop.
Gonna poop. Make him his little poop in the bed. So like I said, not a bad signing because this late in the year, it's hard to get somebody up to date on the offense that quickly. He already knows the offense. He's already going in. A couple months ago, he was on our roster there in preseason and everything. So not a bad pickup there overall. So considering the time frame, so let's get right into the injury report. The injury report, and we have a long list for the injury report here, as usual.
And as funny side note, because I have the primetime game on. I say primetime because it's on Amazon Prime. There's an injury that just happened as soon as you ring that bell. For the Saints.
Well, who's getting injured? Don't leave us in suspense. What's going on?
I just looked up. I missed it. It looks like a tackle for the Saints. I think it was Taylor, possibly.
I couldn't see it. I
just looked up.
Yeah. Basically what happens. Like a fat guy fell. I'm excited.
You look a little lean.
Just mean.
I said lean, not mean.
Let's get into the
Our
injury
game
report here. Yes. So Evan Neal was did not practice on Wednesday. He's a limited participant today. That's good at least. That's trying to get the right direction. Matt Pert did not practice the last 2 days. Wandale Robinson did not practice on Wednesday. He's a full participant today. Part of his plan of not having him practice too much there with that knee injury he's coming back from. Wandale should be playing no problem there at that point because of that.
He also, let's take a side note real quick. He's been one of the most productive number-wise per snaps on the Giants offense.
A lot of catches, not a lot of yards.
I'm just saying he's also
I'm not knocking him when I say that. I'm just saying in general he's been a lot of short
I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying the snaps.
Yeah.
He's seen a lot of snaps coming off his injury, but they're also
snappity snap.
I mean, listen, he
like
gets some catches. He's knocking the yaks, but there's plenty of opportunities. But we're not going to get to that part now. But I'm just saying he's seen a lot of snap time compared to other receivers, which he should be.
All right. On to the big two that everybody's concerned about. John Michael Schmitz, the center, did not practice the Wednesday or Thursday. Andrew Thomas, our tackle, did not practice the Wednesday, Thursday with the hamstring. So that's not making me think they're going to play, especially when you consider these guys that we signed, the last 2 days here. So we signed 3 offensive linemen the last 2 days. That tells you that chances are things are not trending well for these guys.
Yeah. It might be a long time before they come back on the field.
Listen, hamstrings linger.
Yeah.
Like, do you have to let it linger? No, but sometimes you have to. You have to let it linger. Just does. So
you have to.
Yeah. Saquon Barkley, ankle injury here. He listed as limited participant, but considering he pre-played last week, I think it's safe to say he'll play this week. Cordell Flott, limited participant last 2 days, ankle and shoulder injury. Graham Gano, limited participant the last 2 days with knee injury. Let me put it this way. They didn't bring in another kicker. That just tells you he's going to play.
Yeah. Oh.
No, I'm just saying, if you bring another kicker in, that's been like, okay, maybe Graham Gano's not going to play. But
I'm just saying, listen, you have a couple of these guys that, on the offensive line, they're like, oh, they didn't play. They didn't practice, but 3 offensive linemen coming into the field. It's a yay for Gano, but it's like, for the rest of the team.
Like I said, you can read the tea leaves pretty easy in these scenarios. Mark Lewinsky with his quad ankle, limited participant on Wednesday, full participant on Thursday, so that's good. He should be playing no problem. Dory Jackson, a limited participant the last 2 days with his neck injury. Daniel Jones, also a limited participant, neck injury the last 2 days. He's the one that I'll say is 50-50. So we'll have to see what happens. Probably won't know right before game day if he plays or not. A limited participant with no contact. When you have a neck injury like he has, he can play, he can throw the ball. The issue is if he gets hit again. So,
yeah, and they haven't really come out. I've listened to Pat Traina talk, and they said it's some nerve thing, and it's kind of what brings me back to like what I said last week. Or earlier this week? It could be a stinger, which, listen, they are terrible. I've had them. But it's not the end-all, be-all. You don't want to get hit the wrong way, and you also don't want to move your neck the wrong way.
Listen,
but you can still play.
I've had a stinger myself as well, and it hurts with every breath you take, every step you make.
No, that's sting. That's stinger.
Oh, my bad.
Wrong sting.
That's the creepiest
Actually,
song.
That was the police. That was not Sting.
Sting is the singer of the Police.
Well, that's before he was known as Sting. He had a full name at that point.
Creepiest song ever, too.
Yeah.
It's like the Stalker theme song.
That and what's the girl band that did the Everywhere You Go? Not that Everywhere You Go. What's the I'm going to get you one way or another.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the same connotation because most men like being chased. Women are like, leave me alone. Stop chasing me.
Touche. Unless you're Charlie Day and Horrible Bosses.
All right. So next up, Shane Lemieux. We've already talked to him landing on the IR. For some reason, this is right off Giants.com, by the way. They listed him as a full participant today, even though yesterday he tore his biceps and today got put on the IR. So I'm not sure how he's a full participant on the injury report, but he's listed as one. Obviously, he won't be playing. He's on the IR for 4 weeks. He's gone at least, and probably never playing it down again for the Giants. Hopefully, because he sucks. Oops, did I say that out loud? Oops. Gary Brightwell, ankle injury, full participant both days. DJ Davidson, full participant both days. The knee injury. Trey Hawkins, knee injury, full participant both days as well. Now on to the Commanders. This will take half the time. Kendall Fuller, knee injury, did not practice the first 2 days. That's one to really keep an eye on, guys. They are having injury issues like crazy in their secondary, mostly at safety. But you start taking out their most experienced, their best corner. That's a nice advantage for the Giants that I will gladly take. Chris Rodriguez Jr. Has some kind of personal issues going on. He did not practice on Wednesday. They did not even give a status update for him today. Backup running back, not a big deal either way at that point. He's like third string running back.
I was going to say third or fourth string at this point.
Yeah,
like, they got
not going to affect very much. Now onto their limited in practice guys and full practice guys. And this is where you get some bigger names here. So Jonathan Allen, knee injury, limited participant the last 2 days. Cameron Curl, ankle injury for the star safety, limited in practice on Wednesday, full participant today, so he should be playing no problem. Christian Holmes, corner, hamstring, limited participant the last 2 days. Chris Paul, not to be confused with the basketball player, though he is also a guard, ironically enough, has a back injury, limited participant Wednesday, full participant today. James Smith-Williams, defensive end there, is a foot problem, limited participant both 2 days. James Smith-Williams, a defensive end. We just went over Montez Sweat, who's their sack leader. We'll talk about him later on today. Finger issue, limited participant today, full participant. Listen, if JPP can play, so can he. He'll be fine. Sam Cosme, which is one of their guards there, starting guard, knee injury, full participant both days. Benjamin St. Just, another corner, the other starting corner, I should say as well, hand injury, full participant both days. But that's both corners on that injury report. So, like I said, something to keep an eye on, guys. All right. Before we get into the offense here, let's go over some notes here and see what people have comment-wise here. Ooh. So, first up, John Anderson. I never get these times right. One day it's 8, another day it's 9. For the love of God, pick a time. LOL. So, we already did pick a time, John. It's 8 o'clock on Monday and Thursdays. It's 9 o'clock on Wednesdays. And then it's whenever the game ends for game day. So we're trying to do it a little earlier than we usually do on Monday and Thursdays because we know there's a game, obviously. So that way you can miss the beginning of the game and go see the second half when we're done.
Just like, right now Jacksonville's up 7-0 against the Saints. Each to win. You got the rushing touchdown.
I heard the Saints were going to come into New Orleans and win.
They came marching in. I mean, they
don't. No. I heard on a very good program yesterday the Saints were to come into New Orleans and win.
Oh, this guy. Hey, why don't you go take another nap?
Let's see here. John says, maybe easier to say who isn't hurt, LOL. He's not that wrong.
Yeah, sadly.
Let's see here. Dennis says, Washington catching a break in their schedule this week. Listen, we're catching the break. I'm telling you right now, look at our schedule now compared to what it was the last couple of days. We are definitely catching the break.
And listen, watch Philly also fall off the breaks. They start off 5-1. They're going into their little bit of a tougher schedule. Yeah. And they're not looking so good right now.
Exactly. Again, we got the Commanders this week. We got the Jets, the Raiders. Then we get the Cowboys again. Then we get the Commanders again, the Patriots, the Packers, the Saints. The end of the season, we got 2 out of 3 games against the Eagles, so that's not as a very easy stretch there. But we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games in a row with only one team, a team that I would say we shouldn't have a chance against, which is the Cowboys. This is the stretch, guys. If we're going to make a comeback this season, this is the stretch we do that in.
Don't call it a comeback. They've been there since 1926.
Wow. Way to try to do a LL Cool J.
Oh, I did the LL Cool J.
Mama said knock you out.
He says, I'm going to knock you out.
Deb says, good one, Dennis. John says, I believe Blondie wrote that song, Roberto.
All the blondies.
Then Dennis says, Giants going no huddle between the 20s and shoe clock inside the 2 minute. Dable calls it's prevent offense. Well, listen, we've been playing prevent offense the entire single year. It's a whole different thing, though. Dennis says, I would say that John says, Dennis, don't be a menace.
I
Is that
see
to
what you did there.
society while drinking your juice in the hood? Is that what we're going into? Then she says,
No,
now
Dennis the menace, not don't.
Oh, I thought we were doing.
Don't be a menace
society
inside the hood while drinking your juice. Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, the Wayne brothers.
All I know is I'm sipping gin and juice, laid back, with my mind and my money on my mind. John says, now I'm more confused. LMFAO. Okay, again, if a train leaves Albuquerque.
If a train leaves Albuquerque and another train leaves New York City, one's going at 75 miles an hour and another one's going at 74 miles an hour. What point are they going to collide on the same track?
See, if John stops making this complicated, it's very easy. Okay, if Rob takes a nap in Chicago for 45 minutes and Drew takes a nap in Albuquerque,
we'll still be on 8 o'clock Eastern time to watch football and be on live with you guys. Listen. If it's Monday and Thursday, there's a live football going on. We want to get on a little bit earlier, so this way we can start talking before the game starts, and y'all can enjoy the games. And we don't have to interrupt the games as much. It's 9 o'clock when there's no games on.
Alrighty. So John says also difference is Eagles can lose to then beat us as always unless we get our shit together. Yeah. Obviously, let's be honest. The Eagles are probably going to end up with a better record than we do because they have a better team. It's realistic to say that. John says, no, Blondie is a singer, young lad. First off, Blondie is not a singer. It is a band formed in 1974 in New York by singer Debbie Harry and guitarist Chris Stein.
Boom, John.
Booyah, John.
I had it right.
Booyah. I got your back, Roberto. Wrong direction. That mirrored image gets you every time. See, this is why you need one of these things that holds up your microphone, because then I know what side I have to go to get you.
Touche.
Let's see. Dennis says to be ready to be reminded of just why Tyrod was once a starter and now a backup. We'll see if he plays or not. Still, I don't know. They're gonna keep that close to themselves.
Yeah.
John says I'll only fly, no trains. Okay, that's a random thought that I missed something that correlates to. Anyway, listen, I'll take whatever transportation gets me to wherever I'm going the quickest, but I prefer to drive because I like having a car with me when I go places. So
it depends on what you're doing. When I go to MetLife, or when I go to baseball games, or when I go to hockey events.
Oh yeah, MetLife you're gonna drive to.
I like taking the Bayhead for most of my sporting events. I can enjoy.
Sure, you do like taking the head. What?
Oh, the Bayhead, not just the head, the Bayhead. And I can enjoy a 6-pack to the game and pregame on the train. Boom. Don't worry.
John says no one sees the band; they see her. Which I'm guessing is Debbie Harry, the singer, who's now 78 years old. So I don't think anybody's going to see her anymore. One way or another, I'll get Metamucil and I'll poop in my pants.
For the 4th time in this show, we're going to talk about diarrhea.
Whoa. No one ever mentioned the consistency of the poop. We just talked about it being in a sandbox in the middle of the desert or in the bed.
Touche.
Anyway, let's get going here with the actual game here. Enough of this poop talk and Blondie talk and all this stuff here. Let's get into what happens when the Giants are on offense. Alrighty. And this is a much different Commanders team than we faced last year, guys. Just so you are aware of that up front. So,
big time.
The Commanders on defense, they're giving up 29.3 points per game and 377.2 yards per game, both ranked 29th in the league. again, 32 teams. That's not very good, guys. This is really been a bad defense. Now, keep in mind, though, we're only averaging 11.8 points per game, which is 32nd in the league, and 26.5 yards per game, which is 31st. So we're on pace to actually have the tied for the 20th lowest points per game average in NFL history if this keeps up. That's how bad. Like the 20th worst offense ever in the history of the NFL. That's bad.
Listen, if you said we had an elite, absolute phenomenal defense that would put up points on defense, I'd be like, is it the worst thing? But guess what? We don't. So
either way, it's the worst thing. You cannot win if you're scoring 11 points a game.
I mean, if you got a lights out defense,
It doesn't matter. 11 points is not going to cut it.
if your defense only gives us 7 points a game,
yeah, that'd be like
you
the
can't
top
argue that.
5
That's
defense of
math.
all time.
That's a math.
Now, one of the big issues that we've had in some games has been third down percentage. So the Commanders are giving up third downs at a rate of 39.76, 18th overall. So that's average there, but they're pretty bad on fourth down. They're 60% of the attempts are being converted on them. That's 23rd. They're pretty good in the red zone, averaging 47.62 attempts into the red zone, ending in touchdowns. That's 10th overall. But they're also giving up 3 touchdowns per game, which is 26th. Their pass defense has basically been average for the most part, except on yards per pass attempt, which is 7.2, 26th in the league, and passing yards per game, which is 248.2, which is 27th. So what does those stats tell you? That they're giving up very big plays, and the offenses are attacking them as such. Because when you're not having success in the red zone, but you're scoring a good amount of touchdowns, that means it's long plays that you're getting these touchdowns on.
Yep.
So,
and then you're giving up field goals.
Yeah. Well, we're used to giving up. We're used to taking field goals. That's pretty much our MO. That's why Gano's knee is hurt. It's hurt using it too much.
Yeah. Too bad because he's always kicking outside the red zone.
Yeah, seriously. Let's hit from the 40-yard line. Starting, I should say former starting cornerback, which is a first-round pick, Emmanuel Forbes. Remember we talked about him during draft time. He weighs about 120 pounds soaking wet. He has been benched due to ineffectiveness, but they have a lot of injuries in their secondary. So we might see him on the field. And if we do see him on the field, we need to take full advantage of this guy, because I'm telling you right now, there's a reason he got benched. When you bench a first-round talent, there's a reason for that, guys.
Yeah.
But 6 foot even, 181 pounds. He is a guy that bigger receivers can toss around like a rag doll. He's probably a good 15, 20 pounds light for what he should be. That's not good, guys, for them. It's very good for us. You know, imagine a guy like Darren Waller on him. That would be, that'd be a very much a win-win for us. So, overall, though, again, a lot of injuries. We talked about Kendall Fuller is questionable, as is Cameron Curl. Talked about Benjamin St. Juste being on the actual, list on the injuries we're probably going to play. Safeties, Jeremy Reeves, Troy Apke, Derek Forrest, all on the IR. All of them are backups, though. But that means their reserves are basically reserves to reserves, kind of like our backup offensive lineman. That's how bad it is for them. So we got to take advantage of these injuries, guys. This secondary is just banged up. And obviously part of what's going to be determination of how well we can take advantage is how the offensive line does, and whether or not Thomas and JMS are back. But as I said, I don't expect them back, guys. We're going to have to make do with a really, really crappy makeshift line again. It is what it is.
Yeah. No.
Don't be shocked to see Justin Pugh at left tackle again.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew. And part of the issues with the line is going to be overall is that their defense, while they've been giving a lot of passing yards, they've been getting a decent amount of sacks. Montez Sweat, 4.5 sacks in the season. Chase Young, finally actually doing something in his career, 3 sacks in 4 games. That's pretty impressive there. Excuse me.
Bless you.
That team's been fighting for a while. That team's fighting. Casey Toohill has 3 sacks. Jonathan Allen also has 3 sacks as well. So you're talking right there. That's 6, 9, 13 and a half sacks, guys, right there with those 4 guys. For the record, that's much more than the Giants have with just those 4 guys. Giants are literally the worst sacking team in the entire NFL.
Yeah, that's our MO of recent times. Wow.
We give up a lot of sacks. We don't take a lot of sacks.
There's too many sacks in this conversation right now.
So much sacks. Sackety sack. We don't sack back. DC's defense has been very suspect when as far as running the ball as well. They're giving up 4.6 yards per carry. That's 26th overall in the league. 129 yards per game, which is 23rd. So while the teams have been only rushing the ball 29.2 times per game, which is 18th. So no one's really attacking them on the rushing. They need to. They really need to.
I mean, Barkley in this game, expect that.
Keep in mind, his 2 best games he ever had in his career were against the Commanders. I don't know if they were called the Commanders back then, depending on here. But,
the Washington whatever team.
Football team, the Washington whatever. I mean, so, yeah, I mean, it's something that needs to be taken advantage of because, put it this way, especially if DJ's out, Tyrod Taylor can be running the ball, Saquon can be running the ball, Matt Breida can be running the ball. Run, deep pass. Run, deep pass. This should be the plan all day long because we know they give up deep plays. We know they give up a lot of yards per pass. We know they can't stop the run very well. Take full advantage.
100%.
Take absolute full advantage. Cody Barton, that's a name to remember there. A guy has 60 tackles on the season so far. Rob loves when I do this. The math is not very hard to see how many he'll have for the season if he keeps up that pace. That's 10 a game. 170 tackles on the season.
Lights out.
That's a freaking high number. So expect to see this man everywhere on the field where the ball is because that's what he's been doing all year long. Yeah, got my note wrong there. So we talked about where he's the safety that we talked about in the IR that should be playing. I'm sorry, IR, the injury list, but he should be playing, but he has the injuries fighting there. 55 tackles so far. So he's on pace for 158 tackles. That's a ridiculously high amount for a safety, guys. We're talking about deep passes being given up. We're talking about them having trouble stopping the run. What does that tell you?
A lot of yards.
When the safety is your second leading tackler and he's on pace for 158 yards, folks, that's a shnikey load of tackles from a guy who should be your last line of defense. That means you're giving up a lot of big run plays and a lot of big pass plays. Now, the other thing we got to take advantage of is their defensive line. We talked about their starters. They're being very good, and they are. Absolutely are. Like, you're talking about having one of the best defensive lines basically in all of football between Chase Young, obviously, Jonathan Allen. I mean, we're talking about Montez Sweat. We're talking about some of the bigger names. Casey Toohill, we talked about him before as well. Deron Payne. I mean, they got some really good names on that defensive line. But the defensive line is very, very thin because of injuries. So Fadarian Mathis, Curtis Brooks, and David Bada all on IR. Shaka Toney has been suspended all year for the gambling rules issues they had before the season started there. So same as we talked about with the safeties there. These guys that are coming out to spell these guys are the reserves of the reserves. And remember, most defensive linemen, if you have a longer drive, they're going to take you out at that point for breaks. So what we have to do is take advantage of that as well. Plus, we talked about the injuries, but Jonathan Allen and Montez Sweat as well being questionable for the game. We have to go ahead and take full advantage. Whenever you see a backup in the game, that's where we should be running the ball right to. Because if you just get past the defensive line and get to the linebacker level even, you got 4 or 5 yards right there.
Do 4 or 5 yards 2 or 3 times. What's that? A first down.
Exactly. So take full advantage, guys. I'll tell you this right now. This should be the plan. So Alrighty. Before we get to when we're on defense here, let's go ahead and go through some of these comments here. So we had a lot more comments coming here, by the way. Apparently, John still has a thing for this Blondie singer. So he says, no one sees the band. They see her. He says, unless girl from Risky Business is on that train. I've never seen the movie Risky Business, to be honest.
Even like 1982. I'm sure she is not as good looking as she once was.
I feel like the only thing I know about the Risky Business, besides the fact that Tom Cruise is in it, is that scene where he's in his whitey tighties and in a dress shirt, like air guitaring in the house.
That was the original Deuce Bigelow, Mad Gigolo movie.
I'm just saying that's the only part I know of the movie, because I think that's like one of those like well-known scenes from a movie in the 80s. That's all I know. I can't tell you what the movie's about. John says,
it's a young Tom Cruise who becomes a gigolo, pretty much.
Okay. Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, he has a house party, ruins his this big thing, and he has to make a whole bunch of money, and pretty much
he becomes a male prostitute.
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay. John says, hey, gilfs are great in bed. I guess they have no teeth, so therefore some things
I was about to say, just as long as you have that denture removal stuff.
John says, by the way, I thought that a runaway sang that sings when Roberto said girls. I forgot it was Debbie with the blonde hair in that band. What's it called? Oh, yeah, Blondie. Okay. Evac down to 24. Hey, what's up? What's up? Good to see one of our Twitch people on here. Dennis says 35 years old and Tyrod checks to a run. DJ had a better chance of scoring than Barkley versus 3 defenders. Our QB controversy is between a numbskull and a dumbass. Yeah,
it's like almost presidential debates. The debates. So
yeah, you're just picking who you think is the lesser of the evils. That's basically what it is. Deb says, what happened to Trey Hawkins? Was he hurt? So, yeah, Trey Hawkins has a knee injury, but he's a full participant for the last 2 days. So, nothing that's going to keep him out of the game, it looks like. Dennis says, the Giants are keeping us hanging by making it seem as if DJ and Thomas are coming back any day now. I feel like a voter. Yeah, it's this is what they do, though. Yeah, like, here's the issue, though. If you go back, we're going back, a couple of GMs ago. It used to be like in the draft, for example, we knew who the Giants wanted. We knew who they wanted. There was no doubt about it whatsoever. And we all cheered when Gettleman came on and didn't want to tell you who we wanted to draft. This is kind of a similar thing here. You're getting an advantage by not telling everybody and their mother who's going to play quarterback or if Thomas is coming back, because the Commanders have to go ahead and look at all these different scenarios.
Yeah, I mean, look at some of the best coaches in history. Unless someone's on the IR, they're going to turn around like, he could play. Listen, It's a day-by-day situation. And by saying that, when you go from a numbskull to a dumbass, you don't know who you have to prepare for. So they got to prepare for both. So instead of 100% of your practice going to the numbskull, now you have to give them 50% of your snaps in practice and give it to the dumbass as well. This way you can play to the 2 different strengths of what those 2 players would bring to the team. So, listen, Bill Belichick looks terrible, but he was the mastermind at that. He was great.
He also has a great wardrobe, good person.
Oh, yeah. It's the Walmart Junior store.
All right. John says, can you imagine if they would have gotten Brian Burns and or Parsons and Chase Young in our drafts instead of some of the bums we took? Yikes. I can't really complain on a lot of our drafts. Don't get me wrong, we got some misses, but Andrew Thomas, been good. Barkley, drafted him too high, but he's been good. Jones, he's still been a starting quarterback for us for 5 years now. Look at what even, Deontay Banks has been doing so far this year. We weren't the highest on him coming out, but he's been very good. So, making us look wrong, and I'm glad to see it. So, the deeper rounds have been our problems, not the first round picks. That's for sure.
Evan Neal. Sorry.
What?
What? I just coughed. Evan Neal.
Evan Neal. Yeah, Evan Neal sucks. Okay. Evan Neal does suck, but Kayvon's been good so far. Hit or miss. He's still learning, but he's second year.
No one's flipping burgers yet.
Yeah, not yet. Dennis says Jonathan Casillas still thinks this is a playoff team just as soon as he comes back for the injured list. I think he's long retired. I think he's not coming back. John says she's still doable. Now, I don't know if he's talking about the Blondie singer, because I looked her up while he was I saw his comment there, and I looked up what she looks like now. And I mean, I guess if I was in my 70s, she might, think it's attractive, but I'm not in my 70s. Therefore, I'm going to say no. She is not doable.
What's a great novel about the older woman that seduces a young man? That could be.
Are you talking about The Graduate, the movie?
No.
I think
the
you're
book,
trying to
the original, Drew. Way better.
I don't read books. I was elected to read, not to read. Not to read. I messed it up.
100%.
Best.
One of the best Simpsons quotes.
John says, I think DJ is more hurt than they say, and Thomas too. I think DJ is definitely more hurt than they say. It's a matter of how much he can pass tests and stuff like that to get back on the field, because he wants to. Again, whether or not I like him as a quarterback is irrelevant to the fact that I respect the hell out of the guy as a gamer. He wants to play. He wants to give it his all.
Yeah, but I mean, once you start talking neck injuries, like you can talk about a neck injury and it's like something like this, but there's a big gap from this. Well, there's a small gap from this to this. For everyone out there in podcast land, I'm just doing a little pinch of salt to a big old wide meter gap, yard gap.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is America, yard gap.
It's at a pinch.
It's a little pinch. There's a big difference. Like, you got a pinched nerve. They suck, but you can play through that. But if you got a bulging disc in your neck, dude, take care of that. Because bulging disc turn into herniated disc.
You want your life to be good.
Yeah. You also want to be able to feel from that vertebrae down.
Yeah. You want to feel all the extremities. So
DJ, if you're listening, I had a herniated disc. You don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time. John says maybe they should see Aaron Rodgers doctors.
Yeah.
John says,
you hear about that, Drew?
Yeah, he's walking around.
Yeah, well, he had some kind of new revolutionized style of Achilles heel surgery or something.
I heard he was spending a lot of time in a cave.
Well, that was before that. He was doing mushrooms then, but this doctor did some different type of surgery to his Achilles heel, and apparently they're talking about him playing in December.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, you're a 39-year-old quarterback who's going to come back the fastest ever from Achilles heel. That's what the doctors are saying.
Yeah,
So,
like I said, we shall see what they say there. I'm not, too much thinking that's going to happen, but we'll see.
I'm pretty sure he's going to probably come back next year. But I'm just saying
I wouldn't be shocked if he comes back in the the playoffs even, but I just don't see.
I mean, the fastest return time for Achilles heel in the NFL history has been 8 months.
Yeah,
So
he could break the record. He could break the record.
As the guy who broke the original record, he would be twice as old as him, just about. Just saying.
Alrighty. John says Rebecca De Mornay, not Blondie. He was specifying which one he thinks is still doable at her older age. I'll say this. I'm looking it up. Yes, she looks better than the girl in Blondie, but she's still in her 60s. She's still old enough to be my mother. So, yeah.
Older than my mother.
Yeah, so. And John says, oops, Debbie Harry. John says maybe Eli can refer Peyton Manning's surgeon to him. Listen, I think it's going to get at the point where DJ's just not that good a player, and it's going to get to the point where teams aren't going to want to take the risk, because if he gets injured, let's say if the Giants hold on to the year or two when he gets cut, nobody wants to pay out on a contract because of a neck injury, and he's got a couple of them now, and for his own safety, for his own livelihood to happen after football and everything. I mean, again, having a family, doing what he wants to do in life,
being able to pick up his kid one day.
Yeah, like he may want to step away. He's made enough money. That's safe to say. So we'll see how things go. Nothing would shock me in that scenario whatsoever. All right, let's get on to stop talking about gilfs here and all. Let's talk about what goes on in defense.
You want to talk about?
You want to talk about what? You got cut off.
You said you want to talk about the D, not the gilfs.
Yes, the D. Oh, yes. Now, same as that. What's not last year's defense for the Commanders? It's not last year's offense either. 2/3 of their passes, 2/3 of their plays are passes now this year. Totally different from last year. Remember, last year was run, pass, run, pass, run, pass. Now it's pass, run, pass, run, pass, run. So much different here. But similar to last year, it's a volume offense, but just with passing instead of running. In other words, they're not very effective passing the ball, same as they're not very effective pushing the ball.
I mean, you also have to take consideration too, like us as Giants fans. We talk about how much DJ has been sacked. You know what? The only other quarterback has been sacked more than DJ.
Sam Howell. We're going to get into that because I got the numbers here. The numbers are historically staggering, guys. Historically staggering on what's going on there. But as far as passing the ball, they pass the ball 35.7 times per game, which is 10th in the league, while they only get 6 yards per pass attempt, which is 23rd. So, again, volume, and volume. The Giants' defense has been better against the pass than the run. So this plays 100% to our strengths here. We give up 147.5 rushing yards per game, which is 31st in the league, while allowing 217 passing yards per game, which is 16th. So we're an average passing defense. We're a really crappy running defense. Hey, I finally passed something we're average at. Yay. Yes. End the season now. Win. Victory. Flawless.
We're average.
And here's where you were getting to as well right there. So sacks should be pretty easy to come by, as Sam Howell has been sacked on 13.71% of their passing plays. That's 31st in the league. 32nd in the league, by the way, the Giants. Just so you know, the one team worse. We're all excited to play the Commanders and get some sacks, but we're the one team worse than them at protecting the quarterback. Wow. The Giants also, though, sack QBs on 2.72% of pass attempts, which is 32nd in the league. Keep in mind, I think all but like 1 or 2 of the sacks we have are by Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah, and we also didn't have our first sack to week 4? Off.
But Kayvon's been pretty beastie ever since then. We just got to get and this is what I was saying before about we're paying a ton of money to the defensive tackles. And listen, they played very well, both of them. They have. But I need some sacks. If I'm paying you like $20-30 million a year, I need some sacks. We got 5 sacks in the year. 4 of them are Kayvon. Half a sack to DJ Davidson, half a sack to Leonard Williams. That's not enough, guys. That's not enough. Sexy Dexy, you should have at least 2 by now. I'm not saying go crazy. You should have at least 2 by now. Leonard Williams, you also should have 2 by now. You know, I mean, this is what it is. I mean, we got to hit the quarterback. We can't just like give them all the time in the world and then see what happens, because we're gonna get beat that way, like we have been. So Sam Howell on the season, 67.8 completion percentage, 1,500 yards even, 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, sacked 34 times. Whoa. This is where I get to Rob's favorite.
My neck.
If I
hurts.
convert that to a full season, 4,250 yards, 26 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, 96 sacks taken. For the record, the single season sack record is 76, which was taken by David Carr in 2002 during the inaugural season for the Houston Texans there. That's not just breaking that record, that is demolishing that record. They're almost halfway there through 6 weeks.
They're sacking that record.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty goddamn crazy, guys. But he's putting up some decent numbers considering how often he's getting hit. You can't necessarily blame some of the short yards per pass attempt too when you're getting hit that often as well. So maybe we were wrong about Sam Howell. Maybe he's a little better than we thought he was, because I know you and I both weren't very high in him going into the season.
So, I mean, he's played now 6 games, and his first 3.
7 technically if you want to include last year.
I'm talking about this year. We're looking at this year's stats. So you look at his first 3. It didn't look good. His passing yards have gone up way tick in the second half of this season for him. And same thing with everything else. Like, you look at week 1 and 2, like, he did not put up many yards. I mean, he had one game with 97 yards.
So you're saying he's improving?
Sadly, yeah. I mean, he's on pace. And Drew, you like this whole pace thing. He's on pace to probably be the second best quarterback in this division.
That's not saying much when your competition is DJ and Dak Prescott.
But still veterans way ahead of you.
I know.
Jalen Hurts is not playing well. So
he played well last week.
3 picks.
Let's talk about the receivers there. Scary Terry McLaurin, 31 catches, 342 yards in the season, with 2 touchdowns. So 1 touchdown. Full season that put him at 88 catches, 969, and 3 touchdowns. So that's not that good really for him. That's a little off his usual pace. Curtis Samuel is at 27 catches, 285 on the yards, 2 touchdowns. Full season put him at 77 catches, 808 yards, 6 touchdowns. Johan Dotson, who a lot of people had a lot of expectations of him coming out of college as being that big deep threat guy for this team. 17 catches, 140 yards overall, and 1 touchdown. That put him for the full season at 48 yards, 48 catches, 397 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So, yeah, I mean, they got the 2 big guys there, obviously. Got right there. You figure between the 2 of them at that point there, you're at, 600 yards. That's more than half with those 2. But they're spreading the ball a lot around after those 2. Logan Thomas, who's they're often injured but somehow healthy this year, tight end, 19 catches, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns. That put him at the full season at 54 catches, 524 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Running backs Brian Robinson Jr. and Antonio Gibson each typically get about 2 receptions per game, so you expect a little bit out of the backfield, but nothing too crazy. So, yeah, it's a well-rounded pass defense overall. This isn't like last week where, stop Stephon Diggs, stop Gabe Davis, and you stop their whole offense. They're passing the ball to everybody. They really are.
Yeah.
So
they're like the Walmart version of the old school Patriots.
Listen, the old school Patriots wish they had the combination of Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel.
I mean, was Randy Moss not?
For the 1 year?
Just saying.
For the 1 year, Randy Moss was the Patriot.
Was Edelman that a good player for you?
That was later on as well. I'm saying.
I mean, you can say old school, Tom Brady era. It's now
the old school Tom Brady era was like he was throwing to David Patton and people like that. He did not have good receivers. Just saying. Let's talk about their running the ball here. So when they do rush, Brian Robinson Jr. is still their main runner. 77 rushes, 302 yards, 3 touchdowns on the season. That's 3.9 yards per carry. Not very good. So, Yeah, they're going to run the ball because it's part of their offense, but they haven't run the ball very well when it comes to their main runner. Now, the other guy's doing much better. Sam Howell's not been afraid to run. He's got 19 rushes for 104 yards and 1 touchdown. It's a 5.5 yards per carry average. So you think he's going to do that maybe once a quarter he's going to take off. That's what the average tells you. So it doesn't mean you put a QB spy on him, but every so often he's going to take the ball. Antonio Gibson, he's their speedier change of pace back, 16 carries, 69 yards. It's a 4.3 yard average there. So, yeah, like I said, this is going to be a stop in the pass, guys. And the big way to stop the pass, get to the quarterback. It's a bad offensive line. We have to get to the quarterback. This has to be a coming out party for the defensive line.
Say Nick Gates isn't good? He's not going to have a little bit of a revenge game?
No, listen, Nick Gates is, I'll call it like it is. Nick Gates is a slightly below average player who plays a ton of positions and is a very valuable player for that reason. Nick Gates is never going to be a Pro Bowler. He's never going to be an All-Pro. He's not that good.
You're saying he's not going to have a little bit of revenge game, a little spark?
I don't think there's any revenge whatsoever. Because there's no bad blood there. There's no bad blood there.
That's what you say. He's a nitty-gritty kind of player. Nitty and gritty. We'll see. I can see him being the guy that rubs dirt in the eyes and then give you a hug at the end of the game.
Listen, he's going to talk some trash, that's for sure. That's what he does. That's what he does. But he's not going to be the guy that's going to, make any kind of big change in the game. He's not. That's not what he is. No, the best thing is you don't want to hear from this. That means he's blocking good. So, all right, let's get to some of the comments here. Let's see here. Oh yeah, here we go. John says I'm almost 55, so I'll do her. Okay, well I'll be sure to inform her, John. He says DJ has a long neck, but at least it's not like our old quarterback we had in giraffe neck Lennon. Ooh, how about Davis Mills? That guy, if he doesn't have a neck injury at some point, I don't know. That's just crazy. Do we have anybody who speaks Spanish in the house, by the way? I have no clue what's going on here. I'm assuming, let's see.
You're trying to sell me car insurance.
Yeah, I feel like it might be what's going on, actually, because I'm not the best at speaking Spanish.
500 euros.
I have negotiations of accessories for automobiles. Consulting medical experts. I don't know what's going on here. This is like we got spammed by something here, and that's like, ooh, that's a lot there. That's a lot of that.
So udon.
If anybody happens to have any Spanish speaking abilities and wants to go onto our Facebook page and translate that, feel free. Or else what we could do is I could go ahead and maybe do that while we're talking, because I can just use the Google Translator.
I was about to say we got the Googles. We
do got the Googles. We got the Google Translator here. I'm curious. I'm curious. Like what's so important that we have to break this episode here to go into this. Let's see. Raphael says, hello, Drew and Rob. Salute, man. Let's see. We got John says, Jr. over here. John says they'll get 2 each in this game, and I don't know which one what he's talking about with that, because we've given a lot of things on. I'm guessing he's talking about the catches. We talked about the running backs catches. Maybe that's it. Or we're talking about the sacks. Maybe are they each getting 2 sacks? Is that what we're talking about?
I think he's going to with the 2 of the running backs each get 2 catches from the backfield. We're going to go with that.
Well, I was saying it could be the sacks thing. We talked about the sacks. Let's see here. Okay, I got the thing in the translator. I got it. We're going for it.
Oh snap!
Let's see. Oh snap!
What does she sound
like? Hello, my name is Lawson Juanita from Madrid, but now I live in Spain and I have a disease that is killing me, throat cancer. I have 500,000 euros in my bank account, and I want to give it to an honest, serious, and trustworthy person. What the hell? I have a car accessories import business. See, we were right. We said it's medical and there's car accessories in there. We were getting there. let's see here. I have been a widow for 10 years without children. I consulted all the specialist doctors, but I could not find a solution to my illness. If you want to benefit from my donation, please contact me on WhatsApp. And then
Drew, I gotta
they give
go. Drew, I gotta
hold on,
go.
hold on. So she gives the WhatsApp phone number and then says, prayer sign, stay healthy, heart symbol. Like, what? What?
So she's trying to sell me her life insurance, or you her life insurance?
I don't know.
Did she realize, or are we supposed to fight over it, or are we supposed to split it?
I don't know. Oh my God. Okay, so we're gonna block this person now, so that way they can't
right.
do that again. We're gonna do that. But guess what, Rob? You won't believe what happened. Now we got somebody in German. Let's see what happens. Let's see. This is, I don't know why I find this entertaining, but I really do find this very entertaining.
Listen, we went from what 5,000 euros to 960,000 euros. Listen, we got a lot more to make off this Allura.
I'm just saying, if other people think that this is stupid and not if other people think this is stupid and not entertaining and want us to stop, just put it in the comment section. But I think this is funny as hell. So I'm curious. I'm curious what's going on. Now I have to imagine this is German. I'm imagining it's German. What do you think, Rob?
Du Fletcher. Yeah, I'm gonna go with German. It's definitely
let's see.
Western Slavic.
Okay. Let's see. This one is, my name is Laura. First off, who names their kid Laura? She says, I am a barren widow. I have no children. I lost my husband in a car accident 7 years ago. I was a German exporter, and my husband was a banker. I'm currently suffering from throat cancer. Oh my God, throat cancer again. This is.
Oh jeez, look at this.
I feel like we need to do
stop smoking. Why is everyone
throat cancer awareness?
Still smoking?
We need a throat cancer awareness thing or something here.
Yeah.
Let's see. She says, I'm currently suffering from throat cancer and on death row. So is she in jail, she means, or is this a poorly translated version of it's terminal? I don't know. Now I'm curious. Lori, are you in jail? Is that what's going on?
Was that her sentence that she got death row with throat cancer?
Maybe it's death row records because we were rapping before. She says, I have 960,000 euros in my bank account that I would like to donate to an honest man who can also help the poor around him. Aw, that's so nice.
Listen, if you got like a crimson or you get a crimson or like a burgundy with a white, that's a throat cancer awareness. So there we go. We'll put that up.
There we go. We'll put that up. There we go. So yeah, Lori is officially blocked as well. So the interesting thing is Odon has already tried to go ahead and comment back as well too. So John says Raphael could translate. He probably could. I think he speaks Spanish, if I remember correctly. John says 2 sacks. What he was saying, they'll each get 2 sacks. John says that's me. I need it. Deb says that's German. Dennis says me no speaky in scratchen the crotchen. And John says if it isn't sex, music, or Giants related, delete it. Listen, I just find it entertaining. I don't know why I do. I find it entertaining the people that put these weird things. Like, who's gonna go like, there's this widow with on this the 2 Giant Goofballs thing. Let me WhatsApp them to find out if I can get their money. Like, it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
Listen, I've already sent both those accounts my bank account numbers. I'd like to let you guys know what happens.
social security number, all this kind of fun stuff there. So yes, all right. Let's get back to our final notes here on the game here. Final thoughts here, because there is a clear way to win this game, and it's very rare as Giant fans to say that. So, alrighty. So, first off, we talked about earlier in the offensive section. Saquon has the opportunity to control this game, and he has a great history against DC. 189 yards on them back in 2019, 170 yards back in 2018. Both of those were his 2 highest yards in game total in his career. Now, I also looked it up. Both those games, he didn't just run the ball. He averaged 10 yards a carry on average in those 2 games. So he just tore the new one. He went right at the seam, and they took it right up the crack.
Oh, the best part of you fell down your mother's crack into the bed sheets.
Here we go. Back to Full Metal Jacket again.
How to do it.
So the second part is on the lines. Not to be confused with the Lions. The Lions.
Yeah, one of the Lions has got a great game coming up too, but that's not our game.
The Giants have to get to the quarterback. I'm expecting a good game from Kayvon because Kayvon loves to get to the quarterback there. But I also need a big game from Sexy Dexy. He needs to dominate. And our line just has to hold up because their defensive line is really good, and it's no small task, but they've got to figure out a way to do it. So, very simple. Control the line of scrimmage on both sides, and Saquon needs to take over.
Yeah. I would like to see Saquon, like we said earlier. I'd like to see a run, pass. Pass, throw, pass. Run, pass, run. Like, if he can average 5 yards per carry, there you go. We win the game right there, hands down. But I would like to see Hyatt get involved in this game a little bit.
Oh yes, I'm telling you, run past the Hyatt, run past the Hyatt.
Yeah,
he
do a slants right up the middle. Just
please put Hyatt on. Put Emmanuel Sanders on Hyatt. If I see that matchup, throw it right to immediately.
Yes,
immediately. Like, don't even give a second thought. Immediately, if it's Jalen Hyatt on Emmanuel Sanders, go for it. Or even Slayton at that point too. Either one of those guys.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah. It's like I said, I think this is going to be a get right game for us for a certain degree. And it's not a definite thing. Don't get me wrong. The Commanders have been playing better than the Giants have so far. We still have some injuries we're dealing with on the offensive line.
But so are they.
For some reason, the Giants just tend to play the Commanders well. They just tend to. It's just the way it's been the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So
it's local news.
Let's hoping this is the game. This is the game. We get back on the right track. Go to 2-5, and then, like I said, we could be 6-6 within a couple weeks, guys. It's obviously not within a couple weeks, but within 6 weeks. But still,
yeah,
this is that stretch we've been hoping for to get everything back on track, guys. All right,
tough schedule, but we got the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, we got to the tough part. Not very well, but we got through it though. So. All right, we'll be back on for you guys after the game. Keep in mind it's a 1:00 game this week, so we'll be back on probably like 5:15, 4:15,
4:30.
Yeah, around there, depending on whenever the game ends.
If it goes in overtime,
as soon as the game ends, as soon as the game ends, that's what we'll be on, guys. So that way, there's no confusion for guys like John who have trouble figuring out our schedule.
Watch the game. Go on YouTube.
Game's over. Come on. We're going to be here. And of course, obviously, the rest of our schedule will be on Monday to recap all the games, Wednesday to do our picks for the following week, and Thursday to do the pregame there as well. So, all righty, guys. Enjoyed having you guys on here with us here. Appreciate you guys chiming in the comments section here. Remember, this is the start. This is the start. Ignore the past, the 1-5. This is the start of the good stretch of games. This is the chance to turn things around. This is the time to be positive, finally. And this is from me, who's one of the most negative Giant fans you'll ever meet. Rob will tell you that.
I have a feeling like we're flipping this season. I was so optimistic last year, and I'm not.
We were realistic last year. We were right dead on the win total, but we said like 11, 12 wins this year. That's not going to happen, obviously.
Oh, we didn't go that high. We were
that high and we did our preview of the season there. But the problem is who's gonna foresee that we lose basically all of our offensive line basically. So that's not exactly something is going to happen. Injuries happen, but losing Thomas, JMS, Pert, Lemieux, who else is out now as well? I mean, Zudu. I mean, like every single offensive basically has been injured. I mean, it's insanity. But like I said, it's time to turn things around. But before we do that, we got to pay the bills.
Enjoying the show. Looking for more goofball action? Consider a membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Memberships start at just $5 and give you additional goofball access. One-time support payments also available starting at just $3. buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.
Alrighty. So let's see here. Matt says, going to be a great game. John says, LMFAO, Dennis. That's his comment about the me no speaky and scratching. Matt says, Giants will get at least 5 sacks. That'd be nice to see. John says, Drew Roberto, is Ridley playing? I don't see no catches. No.
He is healthy. I have not seen anything. But there's also a lot of weapons on the Jaguars, so.
Dakota, there he is. Says, where the fuck is Connor? What's up, man?
Good question, man. Where the fuck have you been, man?
He's got a look. He was on last one, but listen, everybody has a life outside of us. We get that, so we appreciate you guys whenever you
He's
can.
jumping at 9 o'clock normal time. Football's on, Dakota. Go on. When football's on, we go on at 8, not 9.
Well, don't scold him. You're like scolding him like a
I'm
child.
not just
Bad boy. All right, guys. We'll see you guys again after the game here on Sunday. Hopefully, for once we'll be celebrating a win. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
with love, Dakota, by the way.
A win. All righty, guys. We'll see you guys then. As always, Giant fans, go G-Man!
Go G-Man! G-Man!
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support. If you made it this long, you must have enjoyed it. So I am sure you have followed us on all the social media platforms. Of course, you have subscribed to the show on your favorite app as well and given us a top rating. Right? Right? Right?
Thank you to those who have signed up for our silver gold levels of membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.